I wrote a book called Explanations and Corrections in the Gospel of Luke. I copyrighted this year, 2021. And one of the chapters is called The Abomination of Desolation Stands and Tramples like a Beast. So I'm going to read from that short chapter. It's a very important chapter. And uh, I recommend that you read the Wikipedia article on the Abomination of Desolation because it's at least 50% wrong, maybe 90% of everything it says. And the way you'll be able to free yourself from that is if you don't just read commentaries, but if you carefully examine what Luke is saying in his source material. So I'll read from this chapter. Luke knew that the abomination of desolation that Jesus referred to was the one of Daniel 9:26 through 27, and was the same as the fourth kingdom of Daniel 2, and also the same as the fourth beast of Daniel 7. Whether the fourth beast of Daniel 7 is construed as a king or a kingdom, it is permissible for Luke to call the beast armies by metonymy. And I have another chapter on metonymy. Daniel 7:7 and 25 were rephrased, and Daniel 9:26 through 27. Those passages were rephrased again in Luke 21:20 through 24. I added bold type, brackets, and angular quotation marks to show corresponding parts of the verses. So I'll go over this again, but you notice I have a fourth beast in bold there, and I have angular quotation marks here to enclose the saints of the Most High, and a bracket around until a time and times and half a time. So Daniel 7:7 from the American Standard Version says, "A fourth beast, terrible and powerful and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with its feet." Daniel 7:23 through 25 says, "The fourth beast shall tread it down and break it in pieces, and he shall speak words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and he shall think to change the times and the law, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and half a time." Daniel 9:26 through 27 from the Douay version reads, "And after 62 weeks Christ shall be slain, and the people that shall deny him shall not be his, and a people with their leader that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be waste, and after the end of the war the appointed desolation. And he shall confirm the covenant with many. In 1 week, and in the half of the week, the victim and the sacrifice shall fail, and there shall be in the temple the abomination of desolation, and the desolation shall continue even to the consummation and to the end." Luke 21:20 through 24 Douay says, "And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed about with an army, then know that the desolation thereof is at hand. Then let them that are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them that are in the midst thereof depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter into it. For these are the days of vengeance, that all things may be fulfilled that are written. But woe to them that are with child and give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the Gentiles till the times of the nations be fulfilled." All the passages above are about a Gentile army destroying Jerusalem for a certain duration of time. Daniel 9:26 and Daniel 9:27 are nearly synonymous, even though it's hard to see because of the figurative language. None of the passages is about the Antichrist or idolatry, despite what Wikipedia says and despite what the commentaries say. So I'll go back over these markings that I made, or like the bold font, the and the punctuation, brackets and angular quotation marks. I'm saying that Daniel 7:7 speaks of the fourth beast, which is the same as the fourth beast in Daniel 7:23 through 25, and the same as the pronoun he, which I believe was a horn that arose. What the horn did, the beast did. And the same as a people with the leader that shall come. And the same as the abomination of desolation in Daniel 9:27. And I said previously that verses 26 and 27 are almost synonymous, like a people with their leader that shall come is the abomination of desolation. And then in Luke 21:20 through 24, Luke calls it an army because he's writing either for Theophilus' benefit. Maybe he didn't have a strong Jewish background and he won't understand Mark and Matthew. He won't understand the original metaphorical prophetic language in Daniel. Or maybe he wrote it previously because many Christians, even those who did have a Jewish background, misunderstood the metaphorical language. And so the beast and the army are also called the Gentiles. They shall be trodden down by the Gentiles in Luke. So looking back over these passages, here is angular quotation marks. So he shall speak words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And they're the same as the city and the sanctuary in Daniel 9. And they're called Jerusalem, which is easier to understand in Luke 21, 20, and again in verse 24, called Jerusalem again. So the reader didn't have to figure out who the saints are. Are they the angels? Or are they Jews or somebody else? And then the brackets in Daniel 7:23 through 25, they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and half a time. And in Daniel 9:27, after speaking of the abomination of desolation, the desolation shall continue even to the consummation and to the end. It doesn't sound like the same as a time and times and half a time, but it is the same. And then the brackets in Luke 21:20 through 24 says, till the times of the nations be fulfilled. Well, there's enough there to, when you read it that way, a Jew would know the times of the nations, that must be the time and times and half a time. But if you don't have a Jewish background, you might be able to figure out, oh, it means the times allotted to the non-Jewish nations or the Gentiles to trample Jerusalem, which is the theme of the book of Daniel, and the person without a strong Jewish background would understand it anyway, even though he would be totally confused if you gave him a bunch of quotations from Daniel. So that's the end of this video.